What up? What up? We are back. Post-show episode 143, probably. Um, it's a fun one. We had lots to catch up on. We talk Kowloon generic romance, Gundam GQUX to be determined. We have a lively debate about the current state of Last of Us, so if you're in for some heat, uh, take a listen to that. I can safely say there's not really many spoilers for season two in there. We talk Andor, but the twist is we talk Andor mostly season one. I'm like, as usual, incredibly late to it, and I'm about a little more through halfway than season. I'm a little more than halfway on season one, and it's blowing my head off. So we talk about that, and then we talk about Orb on the Movements of the Earth, which is also fantastic. Per Grant, I need to check that out, and then news sprinkled here and there, the Oblivion remastered bit, and some fun stuff at the end. Thank you for listening and enjoy. Oh, hey there, Grant.
Hello, David.
What's up, buddy?
No, not much. Just enjoying this nice little beginning of the summer weather.
Yeah, dude. I was just saying to you, like we are beginning to appreciate our setup with this house that we bought, but didn't really know much about what was planted in the front and backyard, and now we like things are sprouting faster than we can count them, which on one hand is like quite exciting, and on the other you're like, how much upkeep is this going to be if I want to keep these things remotely alive?
Every night after work, 40 minutes. That's my rule of thumb.
40?
Yeah, keep it under an hour just to touch up, do what you need
What
to do.
are you doing out there, lad?
Well, that way you're not burning like 4 or 5 hours on a Sunday there.
What are you? I don't understand. What are you cultivating?
Well, you cut the grass on the Sunday, you get the clippings on Monday. You just.
What do you mean you get the clippings? What clippings are you getting?
My grass. When I first moved in here, I got overzealous with the nutrients and the fresh grass seed.
Yeah.
My grass grows like 2 weeks worth in 1 week. It's actually insane.
But like actual technical question. What do you mean get the clippings? Like, don't you just put it get them in the bag and throw out the bag?
Well, long grass. So the tends not to break it all up. So you got lots of shavings in the lawn, and you get those paths. So
that's tough.
You get out with a rake, you pile them up, put them in your enviro bags. Yeah. I just put out 6 of them for 1 week alone.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't want to reveal too much about my location here, but because you never know the internet. But we've got we got the compost thing every week, so we just dump it all in there, and that's nice. Let me tell you.
Yeah, wait till you do some grass clippings. You'll see how far that one compost thing will go.
But I don't aren't I already doing that? Or do you mean at like a new house? Because
no. I think like I was saying, in my instance, my grass goes very long in just 1 week. So every week when I cut the grass, there's always like a ton of long grass left over on the ground to kind of sweep up.
Yeah, I've never had that.
Or rake up. Yeah, it's kind of my own doing, but I have nice long green grass, so I can't.
Yeah, there's like one spot. I mean, next week is supposed to be the big week. We truly have become the middle-aged podcast, but screw it. I'm going to lean into it. Next week is the big week. We're planting a little raised garden bed. This is it, dude.
You building one, or are you buying a raised one?
I think we're just going to build it. I mean, we'll see how that actually goes in practice, but like the very basic one that I'm looking at is 4 2x4s, and you attach them to blocks, and then you put soil in it, and it'll be slightly raised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it'll be fine. Famous last words. I am worried about the pests. There's rabbits in my backyard every day. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes. Which is weird because we've talked about this. I feel like I'm in the city, but the minute you there's any green, there are critters. Mm-hmm. So many chipmunks too, dude. It's wild. Mm-hmm.
Chipmunks.
Hinky punks. Hinky punks. I'm trying to think of Harry Potter. That's what a hinky punk is. Anyway,
really?
Yeah.
It's from Harry Potter?
That one's from the book. From the best book, Goblet of Fire. Low-key, just so you know.
Hard to disagree.
Well, whatever, dude. Where do you want to start, man?
I don't know. I got a text from you in the middle of the night the other night saying how you were super down with Kowloon generic romance. So let's. Do you want to talk about talk about that?
Yeah, I think I'm caught up. I mean, I'm 6 episodes in. I don't know if the 7th is.
I haven't caught the most recent one. I think it came out just last week. So.
Yeah, I just think that to your point, it is very up my alley. It is very mind bendy ish, and also just like I don't know. There's got to be a term, and if there is, maybe you know it. It's kind of like the Sunny Boy thing, where it's like the trope, if there is a trope, would be like characters trying to understand the rules of their world, not isekai, right? But it's like, I mean, I guess you could say it's like isekai adjacent, but like the whole thing about Sunny Boy is like they're trying to understand like their environment, and same with Kowloon.
Like psycho thriller maybe, or like pseudo thriller. Yeah, I can see that.
But it's similar in Kowloon Generic Romance. Like some characters are aware that the nature of their reality.
Yeah, some very big reveals, and also I remember we had spoke about it last time, how I had heard and read that like the pacing is like people are a little upset with, but the pacing, it like every episode feels like there's a huge reveal at the end of every episode. You can kind of feel. Not the blow, but you can feel like the quickness of it. Like there's like some major reveals from like one to the other. It's like, whoa, like most shows, like if this was heavily delusion, we'd be dragging this out for like 4 or 5 episodes. You know what I mean? Like this is like every episode is like, and like kind of working against it. There is like 1 or 2 where it's like, oh, I really could have like, I wish I could have cooked with that a little bit. But the speed that it goes, like you're on to the next thing. You're like, oh wow, like the bigger picture. But yeah, very, very, very cool stuff. I don't know. It's like it's different, and it's not like a total knockout, but just the world they've built, and I think it's so cool that like people are aware that like she is a fake. The reveal that like he knows she's a fake, or she's the real one, or not the I'm B versus A. I'm blanking on her name right now, but Kujihara. Yeah, Kujihara. Or anyways, but yeah, I don't know. Just like. It doesn't feel like we're being dragged along. It just kind of feels like we're getting all the information like as the characters do. We hardly have any time to like really sit with it before we kind of have the next reveal. If you kind of get what I mean.
No, I do. I think you raise a good point. Like the reveal that she isn't who she her own her understanding the truth, not just the other guy, her love interest understanding, but like. The audience finding out at the same time that the protagonist finds out, like, I'm not the original. You make a good point.
I think she is the original. That's the thing. I think she is A, and the girl that he knows and he had the previous relationship with is like the mirage or the
interesting.
The
I'm
artificial.
not going to say anything in case the one episode because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if what I know happened earlier or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, I believe episode 5 is as far as I've gotten.
Yeah, I'm definitely on 6, but I can't remember if I can't remember what is revealed when, so I'm not gonna say anything. But to your point, like I was just gonna say, they're revealing this stuff very quickly. That's all. And I'm really interested in these other 2 characters that have started to take up like a lot of screen time. The 2 guys,
pharmaceutical guy,
pharmaceutical guy, and then the guy who worked in the like coffee shop, the tea house at one point. But then he may or may not have a copy. He may or may not be the original. That I like that there's another set of characters also going through something at least somewhat adjacent to what they're going through. But
yeah, it's almost like a level up, right? Like they have kind of like a bigger scope of what's going on, but like still like because they're antagonist-ish, all the details aren't being fully revealed with them. So like I think more of the mystery is with them than with the main characters.
Yeah, and then also there's like very literally the big looming thing in the sky. And then maybe I think in episode 6 we talk about it a little bit more, which is good. But it's funny, like that's really the only thing that pacing wise. They're drip feeding a little bit. They haven't like given a ton of information about what it is, and its point, and who's behind it, and you know what I mean, all that stuff. But all of that to say, I really like. I don't find there to be an issue with the pacing, but maybe I'll feel differently. Like it as you know, like the way I feel about this is like it depends on how it ends. It depends on How long is the season? How does it end up? If is it 12? I would not be
I believe
surprised.
It's 12. There's not hasn't been anything said otherwise.
That doesn't surprise me. But yeah, like if we get to the end of 12 and we feel like we've learned a huge amount, because on the other hand, like sometimes with Heavenly Delusion, it was like, fuck, it's so slow and so disjointed that you get to the end and you're like, what did we learn? It's like sometimes when you go too slow, the audience can be like, can just get lost in the sauce, lost in the minutia. But they're definitely not. They don't have that problem.
Well, it's interesting. I was reading that apparently it's like a full volume per episode, so that's like 6 to 7 chapters.
That's quite hefty.
Which it is a lot. That's a lot to be covered. Like and
I wonder what the pacing
like
of
a
shonen is like.
I'm not too sure. Like I know it's really well. Like I'm just wondering like what is like the little stuff that is kind of. Not necessarily like might necessarily be big picture, but like the kind of the character development stuff that is really kind of fills in like the whole cast. Like if I had to guess, the best friend, the blonde girl who kind of like got all the plastic surgery. Yeah. I feel like there's some stuff with her that definitely like the way they kind of. I think the most recent episode I watched, or the one just before that. That's been my favorite episode so far. Where like she's in the mirror and she's like having this kind of like. Imposter syndrome, like seeing her old self in the mirror, and you think that like she's like taking all the makeup off or whatever, and like it cuts to the door, and of is it Kujihara or the main character, the main girl there. She knocks at the door, then she comes out and she's like still the same. I don't know. I thought it was like a really very subtle touch, but little stuff like that. I bet that's where the kind of the minutia is like fitted in the story, but. I think it's just a great show. Banging music and just like the vibe, like the 80s 90s.
Look,
hot summer aesthetic is like really really cool. Yeah.
We've returned.
We have returned.
We're not going to be able to hide that edit.
No,
because there's a good chance. However I do it, it's going to be ugly. Anyway, we were talking about Kujirabi and the
friend, the best friend there.
Yes, and the best friend. And I was just telling you, there is follow up to that plot. In the next episode, and it's interesting, or at least like I don't know if you want to like say it's like a lore draw. I don't fucking know, but there's development, and I think you'll find it interesting.
The other thing I kind of like, it's so funny. Like you might be able to, someone might call it hypocritical, but you and I kind of pound down on shows that beat us over the head with like plot points and like see like hey here like you see there's like a goldfish here and like that's the symbolism of one to the other. But there's like little stuff like like the goldfish and like the constant like like looking up at the sky and kind of almost like showing like a shift of perspective. But again with the friend, the whole stuff with the I'm already blanking on the name, but the fake or the zirconian diamonds.
Yeah.
And of like find the one like not necessarily the real thing, but like I just that whole plot line with like the real and fake diamonds or artificial diamonds. It kind of just really hits home of like. Like there's 1 and 2, but like they could still be the same to different people and all this and that. It's, I don't know, like tonight I'm probably gonna catch up on the following 2 episodes there, but yeah, it's I don't know, just good vibes, very different. Like it kind of feels like a time capsule show in a lot of ways.
That's a good way to put it.
It doesn't feel as modern as like some people, as much as you might think it is. It feels very rooted in itself.
I'm really enjoying it, just because like I love something that's like. Feels original, not part of this giant IP. Like as excited I am for the Demon Slayer movie and Jujutsu Kaisen and all that stuff. Like, sometimes the best shows are the ones that you just find by surprise, that you just get a random recommendation for, and it's like something wholly original, or at least it feels like that. So it's currently my favorite anime on, but I'm also not watching a ton.
There's not a ton, super ton that's usually in our wheelhouse on right now.
I am watching the Gundam GQUX thing.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Not doing anything for it. It's definitely not Wish for Mercury for me. Like the excitement I had for that, like week to week, that was like, even the whole thing with like the clan battles in this, like it's not like a story beat that I like, you know, like I like a tournament arc, but like not the whole point, like conceit of the show kind of thing. It's so funny, like as it goes on, I'm with, they're like there's no Avas or anything like that, but like a lot of like the imagery and like the weirdly hypersexualization like feels very Neon Genesis in a couple of the most recent episodes. So I can see
that's what he brought to the project.
And honestly, that's what it kind of feels like in some of the Gundam designs. Kind of feels rooted in his world. So it kind of feels like the other. It kind of dawned on me the day. It kind of felt like you know how George R. R. Martin was associated with Elden Ring.
Yeah.
It was like hyped, like, oh yeah, like, you know, George, like he built
here.
this, like this is his world. He named a couple of like the villains, like that was like more or less. Like,
yeah, I heard he helped with just like some mucking about.
Yeah, it was mucking. It was like probably like a couple days work. It wasn't like real big scope stuff. So it's that's just kind of the vibes.
Yeah, I have two responses to what you said because you mentioned two things that are directly in my notes. So
okay,
and they're not related, but they're adjacent.
Sure.
I actually have 3 points, if you can believe it. 1.
Mm-hmm.
Just on Gundam GQUX.
Yep.
Nailed it that time. GQUX. I am
it's
going to...
GQUX, but it's okay.
Whatever, dude. It's GQUX. It's GQUX. It's fine. I'm going to watch until I'm annoyed by it, which,
sure,
to be fair, could be any minute.
We're getting there, yeah.
But as I'm watching it, I'm having the same problem that I had with Witch for Mercury, and I know that you mentioned that Witch for Mercury ends up getting quite good. But I'm watching it being like, man, I wish I could watch a version of this that wasn't about teenagers or children.
Time Memoriam, Gundam. It's always been about child soldiers, and that is the experience, right? Like,
what about that Char guy?
Char is also quite young.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think he's like, you know, like late, maybe early 20s, late teens. Yeah. Yeah, he's not a grown man. Just a tall boy.
If I watch those movies you talked about, are those dope?
So here's where in the problem. I watched all 3 of those movies like diligently. I even like went and did the read-ups after the fact, kind of just like the details that I felt like I missed. Because again, at the end of the day, those 3 movies are compilations of that first season. So there's some stuff that doesn't fall through the cracks or whatever. I'm watching GQUX and it's like pause, rewind. Okay, like do the reverse engineering of like, oh, that's that character, and then this is this scenario in reverse, or you know, path A led to this. You know, like it's so branching. It is actually like it for me, who I've done a bit of the homework. It kind of feels like an impossible task. I'm at the point, I'm shutting off my brain. If I catch something like, oh, that's a reference to something, I'm literally jotting down. I have my notebook beside me when I watch it, and I make a note to read later. I'm just enjoying it for the visuals and kind of and that's the thing too. Like my gripe is, and I don't have an issue because I know, you know, Trigun Stampede proved to us that like 3D animation can have its you know, like it can do really, really well.
Yeah.
But I find these fights are like they're borderline like epileptic, you know, like just the mech, like when they're doing the clan battles, like it is hard to trace, and then the shots that are slowed down or like you know, like there was like a really cool fight. The last episode I watched was the 2 dudes, they get the suit from the Federation. They get the new suits from the Federation, so like they're not expecting like war ready guys.
Yeah, I saw that episode.
That was a great fight. But the same thing, it was like half that fight was like, you know, you're like trying not to, you know, have a seizure. But so I don't know. I'm in it for the vibes, but the vibes are only carrying me so far because it is skewing very, very sexual. Like the underage, I'm not loving a lot of it. The stuff with like the new types, that is really cool. That's always been in the Gundam universe of like, it's just like the and especially in the original Gundam too. Like there's just like after years and years and years of like being in space, and it's just kind of you know, people kind of, I would say breeding, but like people like coming together from the colonies and the Earth, and like just over time there's like a new genus that kind of comes through that opens up this like psychic power, and people kind of connect that way, and the military is harnessing it, and like I think the one side knows about it, the other doesn't believe in it, kind of thing, which is the reverse from, again, it's like reverse on a reverse on a reverse. Like it's, so I don't know, like I am enjoying it. I like robots smashing each other, you know, like it's good for that, but big picture, I'm not super focused on like the story. Like I am, but it's like, you know, I'm gonna have to do a read along later, review notes, maybe go back and watch. And that's why I think Witch from Mercury is superior in so many ways. it hits all the notes, the traditional Gundam notes, without being in that timeline. It being like a separate timeline in its own thing. But again, like it's there's like references, like just because the names have been used for like 40 years, people know what like these things are, not necessarily trying to link back exactly to the beginning one. So I don't know. It's probably the most legworky show I've watched in a long time, and it's not ruining it for me, but it's like I got other stuff that I'm really enjoying right now.
Right.
That where it is like Kowloon generic romance. Like that is something that's pulling my mind in, and I want to see the mystery like week to week. This kind of just feels like, all right, cool OP. Who are they fighting this week? So it's yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll watch it for now, and then maybe I'll try Wing eventually, or the movies. We'll see. The other thing was, because you mentioned Ava, did I tell you I finished the last movie on the flight to Japan?
No, you didn't.
That's
You're talking Rebuild 3?
Yeah. Okay. So I finished both last movies, I think, on the way to Japan, and it was obviously like I did it at the right time because Japan and all that, and I had like done recaps on the first two, and I will say, and we can do like a whole pod on this. I think we said we would on all the Rebuild movies at one point, but we'll have to do a refresher. But I walked away with that quite happy. Like, I think I told you I found also like an amazing explainer that helps, and I had to do the same thing I think with the original series and the and end of it, the first movie, and it really reframed my perspective a lot on the Rebuild versions, and it felt like a couple of big light bulb moments, and I walked away from that last movie like, oh, I'm like super satisfied with it.
I still haven't seen the third one. I'm 1 and 2 I have done, but maybe
there's actually 1 and 2 I would say are the in wake of like the investigation and all this stuff that I've done are by far the weaker half of the quadrilogy or of the 4.
Really?
3 and 4 are where they're like it changes in a major way. Especially 3 and especially both of them deviate very significantly.
Damn.
And like it's fucking Ava, right? So it's like you gotta know what to look for, but like when you do,
sure, yeah.
It's like like there's like a big moment. So I don't know. Anyway, I recommend it.
Yeah,
I highly recommend it.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I would like to do that pod soon. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that and we got to do Berserk. Did we do a Berserk Volume 2 pod?
No, that's next.
Okay, so we got to do that, and then we got to buy the.
We should do it. We should do Berserk 2, and then we should do Ava, and then we should loop back to Berserk 3. All right.
Dude. We could even pause this one while we do those. I don't give a fuck. I don't know. Food for thought. We can do whatever we want. We're in charge of our own programming.
It's our show.
Yelling.
It's a free show.
Yeah, dude.
It's a free show.
It's a free show.
I got
last thing. Last thing. Sorry, last thing. Elden Ring. You mentioned Elden Ring.
Yeah.
You see rumors. Alex Garland set to direct a movie.
I don't buy that.
Rumor. I said rumor.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a rumor. I put a bug in his ear about it.
Yeah. I don't know. That's. I think that's a little bit too much of Hollywood to bite off yet. I don't think they're ready for that.
We'll see, dude.
Yeah.
But if he does it, I bet he does it before Batman 2 comes out, dude. Sorry, bro. I had to do it too.
Well, you see all the stuff, all the more friggin' Matt Reeves dumping going on right now?
No, what's he doing, dude?
Wow, I don't know. I was reading a couple things online. Again, it all felt very rumorish. Nothing was like, verified. But there's like a lot of talk that like his health isn't well, and that's why things are getting delayed. Not just because like him and James Gunn. So everyone's like, oh, it's James Gunn's fault, and then everyone's like, no, it's not his fault. Like he can only be so patient. He's the head of the studio. Like if someone's, I don't know. It's just the weird loyalties people have online to like people they don't know. It's just
the parasocial relationships that develop.
Yeah. It's so strange, but
all that said, to all the listeners out there, we care about you. No, playing.
No, just to comment on the Elden Ring thing, that feels like a knee-jerk reaction to the Minecraft movie. That's another. I feel like that's what that is. I think
that thing has some legs, huh?
Oh, did it ever? Which surprised to no one. I knew the second that was coming out that was going to crush, whether it was good or not. And people seem to be enjoying it for what it is. But never played the game. Never played Minecraft.
Me neither. I've tried on more than one occasion. I just can't get into it.
I remember seeing it for the first time in the wild. Oh, This is a good little date, or like to date the situation. I was away at college with our friend Shane. There was
already uninterested.
Uninterested. We were in the cafeteria or the lounge, the student lounge. Randy and Leahy from Trailer Park Boys were doing a live concert, and to our left was a dude on his laptop. And I look over, I'm like, what on earth is that guy playing? Like, why is he playing this game? And like Randy and Leahy are like, busting, Randy was doing shots out of some girl's belly button. It was unreal. It was wild. It was like 1:00 in the afternoon. And I looked to my left, and there's this thing, and I just asked him, like, what is that? And he's like, Minecraft. And I'm like I know what that is. Yeah. And then, next thing you know, it's like one of the biggest things in the world. Like the biggest thing in the world. But yeah, it was, funny little anecdote.
That is funny. That is a good little detour.
Yeah.
Have you been watching? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, have you been watching Last of Us?
No, I'm out.
Wow.
I am actually out.
Really full Captain Buzzkill, huh?
Yeah, but I'm following the discourse weekly. This girl cannot catch a break. I am not.
Which girl?
Bella Ramsey. God,
yes, okay.
Godspeed to her. Like,
yeah.
I actually don't love what she's performance-wise, what she's doing from the clips I've seen.
I actually want to be clear. I do support all the hate and vitriol she's getting, but I feel bad.
No,
about it.
I don't think she deserves any of that. It's so silly, and like just like mean, but like her like I'm gonna be a dad line is like actually like soul crushing to the story, in my opinion. Not to be like, but too fine a point on it.
Yeah,
it is ludicrous.
I mean, she didn't write that line.
No, but have you seen the clip? Like, I know everyone likes to talk like Craig Mazin's like the second coming of like HBO there, and he's like the hit maker. The clip behind the scenes clip came out yesterday.
Did they do like an inside the episode for this thing?
And like he could not be more high on his own supply about writing that line, and he's like, the joy on her face, like how can you not love that scene? Like look how happy she is. And it's like, it's not the point. But again, I know it's all that wrapped up. I know they're trying to do something different. It sucks, but it is what it is. But no, like I get it. It's just not for me. And like, it's like what I told you last time. I think what they did with the game was a feat. I think it's a great piece of storytelling. And to replicate that is almost impossible and not feasible time-wise. Like, it makes no sense just to redo it. Like, it's so funny to put things in perspective. David Cronenberg was on Marin a couple weeks ago. And he there's this author William Burroughs. I'm not super familiar, but I think David Cronenberg, his movie Naked Lunch was based on one of his books. And the movie with Daniel Craig recently, Queer, it was based on a William Burroughs book. Okay. Anyway, so David Cronenberg, and this is all going to come together, I promise. Yeah. So David Cronenberg was talking about how he had spoken William Burroughs around the time when he was like writing the script or working with someone writing the script for the movie. Okay. And, like he was talking to the author and he was like, like I'm trying to, do what I can to be as, like kind of not necessarily like one for one, but like I want it to be the same wavelength. And he had said, William Burroughs, like, oh, I'm so relieved you're saying that. He's like, people shouldn't be remaking it. Like, you should be taking what I wrote, taking what you saw and making it your own thing. The wavelength is like, and I'm paraphrasing, but like the wavelength is the important part, not the words off the page. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I heard that, and literally the first thing that came to my mind is all this stuff with The Last of Us. Right. And it's a little stickier because like the writer of The Last of Us is also heavily involved. Yeah. And he's co-creator. So like, I don't know. It's like I said, it's not like a one-to-one comparison, but like it did give me a little perspective of like, you're right, things don't need to be one for one. Maybe we should ease up a little bit on some things, but I don't know.
I think this just furthers the point that there is no version of an adaptation that will ever please anyone or everyone. Rather.
No,
like it's just
like, there's always going to be like possible. The big ones that do and what.
What are the big ones?
Well, like I think
name one.
Even Lord of the Rings, I think, is pretty commonly
massively deviates.
Again, and no one really had.
Yeah.
Again, there isn't. I'll never forget. Like the Two Towers was about to come out, or no, maybe the Return of the King was about to come out, and all the stuff with Shelob in Return of the King. Yeah. And I remember my uncle, God love him, was just like shitting all over Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, it's Christmas. Why are you making me sad? I was like, I've read, I know, like they're not going to do it like all this because there's like in Return of the King specifically the book. There's so much stuff. It's so dense. Oh yeah. And like Return of the King, like anyway, but like my I think my point stands to a certain extent. Like, there's some close ones, but there's never 1-to-1. Like, what's the point of 1-to-1? Jurassic Park totally askew.
Yeah.
From the book, right? It's.
I was gonna say it felt like we had this conversation of season 1 of Last of Us a year or two ago. Mm-hmm. And I think our takeaway was like, like almost a 1-to-1 kind of works because I think it was like season 1 was pretty damn close, right? Pretty
damn close, yeah. Couple outliers, but the outlier stuff was great.
Yeah.
Like
Bill the Offerman episode, right?
Yeah.
And like it's like if they deviated once, like they hit 1,000 on that thing, so it was like fuck, they really can't miss at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think because it's funny, like I wonder what you and all the video game people how you'd feel if you could vacuum that out of your brain if you'd never seen it ever. And that's an impossible thing to do. You can't. Yeah, you can't even pretend.
Yeah. Like, okay. Thought experiment. Yes, let's say that you take that scene of like, oh, like I'm going to be a dad in the smile. Yes, that is a legitimately happy moment.
Sure.
And in this, you can take it at the angle from like this is a crazy post-apocalyptic world. There's like rampant depression. Yeah. There's fear. A little light does make a change in people. Like, I 100% see that. And you're right. Like, if you take out the core text or whatever, and you take it for what it is, it's like it can be, like a beautiful moment amongst these characters. But it's just like again, there's so much dogpiling and like the memes are like ace right now for it. Like it's like it's.
I haven't touched it because I want to avoid spoilers. And I almost got spoiled.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I almost got spoiled touching that sub. But I will say, like, it was a cute... Like, we saw that moment because we're loving it, obviously. We're loving season 2. And we thought it was cute. But I think the overwhelming feeling after seeing that moment was like, this feels like heavy foreshadowing that it won't go this way. Like, they're showing us this ray of light so that they can yank it away and, we watched fucking Dina die or something.
The thing is, like, I would, I'm not going to spoil, obviously, but, like, it is a turning point in itself in the game as well, because the situation already is dire. There has been close calls. There already has been, like, a significant amount of dread looming.
Right.
Whereas, like, it's a huge dampener, and, like, it only kind of, like, makes... like it doesn't affect Ellie's judgment, but like everything is like kind of like, stuttering a little bit. And I'm sure there'll be some of that too as well, but like just kind of like Ellie like wants to turn around. Like there is like an effort, like a significant effort to like, this is done. This is over. Like Ellie does has a bit of clarity to like what the situation is. And
I mean, that happens in the show too.
I agree. But it's, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. I don't know.
That's all right.
Yeah, keep going over. Yeah. I, like, honestly, like, I would probably still be watching if I wasn't putting my time to Andor Season 2 right now.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we could talk about that, but I am just past the halfway mark of Season 1.
Ooh.
And it's unbelievable.
When Andor gets real good. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
The latter half is significantly better.
Really?
In the first. Yeah.
The first half was so good.
No, the first half is very good. The second half is like... Yeah. What was the last episode you saw? Or what was the last thing that happened?
Episode 7. So they had... oh my god, it's so heavy. So they had the heist. They had the heist
is done?
Heist is done. It was so fun.
Okay. Yeah.
It felt like a video game. It felt real.
When it's done and they just like fuck off into space, I'm like, whoa, yeah.
I also knew that we were going to... I mean, I've read a couple things about how expensive it is to make, and I'm like, yeah, but because like Game of Thrones, famously, and something else. Severance, recently has broken some records on like TV production costs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I knew Andor would be right up there, but I will Andor, out of those things I just listed, like it looks the highest quality. Like it looks so good. I can't get over I just can't get over how good it looks. It's like the most beautiful show. Just production wise, it's weird to like look at like Luthen's shop and be like, it's fucking awesome. And when she pulls when Mothma pulls up to it in her like Rolls Royce flying car, like cruising, everything is just so gorgeous. So they have the heist, and our boy Andor gets away, and then I might be 2 episodes removed from the heist. So shortly thereafter, there's a significant change of pace because he gets his money and he leaves, but he's arrested shortly thereafter.
Okay, so you've seen him get arrested. Okay.
After the Empire kind of retaliates and all the sentencing and all this stuff, and I just finished a full episode after that where it covers his roughly first 30 days in prison, and it's
the prison is like
awful.
The creme de la creme of that season.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah,
it's so dejecting, and also, the Mon Mothma stuff is starting to kick up, and I've been really trying to. I have no shame in admitting this because I've never considered myself like a Star Wars expert, but I actually didn't connect the dots till like mid-season of who the fuck she was supposed to be.
Oh,
because again, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like it all, but when it hit, I was like, oh, fuck. Like she's going to be her. And I mean, the actress is so well cast.
That's her daughter.
Oh my God.
That's the original actress's daughter. I'm almost certain.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
It's either this,
that's amazing.
or when they came back,
I mean, she looks so much like her. It's amazing. And we can look it up later. I know she apparently has some moments in season 2 that I've just seen in like thumbnails and I don't want to touch. But I obviously know she survives because of Star Wars. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving Stellan Skarsgård. Like, I mean, the cast, Andy Serkis in the prison, for Christ's sake. The casting on this show is so fucking good. Andor himself, really, really good. Production value, just everything.
I love Diego Luna. He's so fucking good.
Who?
You watched Narco? Diego Luna?
Oh yes.
Like did you watch Narcos?
Yeah, who was he in that? It's been years.
It was like in the Mexico seasons. He was like the head of the cartel.
Oh no, I didn't watch those. I just watched the OG. Oh, because you're talking about like the second one, like the second. Yeah.
Mexico season. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. I just watched the OG.
Really good.
But man, I was about to watch the heist, last week, and I was like, oh, there's probably 1 or 2 more. I had no idea there was 12 in the first season. So I'm really excited.
I thought season 2 was done. I was convinced like last week it was over. I was like, oh, that's weird. Like I feel like there's no hype on the ending and all that. And then the latest batch dropped there, and everyone's freaking out. So it's
what it's supposed to. It's
12 now. It's done now.
How many is it?
It's 12 again. Yeah.
Jeez. And it should lead relatively right into Rogue One.
I don't,
or not right into, but
how this season is going to end, I'm not 100% sure, but I remember Tony Gilroy saying it would be a 1-to-1 handoff from the series into the essentially Andor meeting Daisy. Is it Daisy Jones?
Felicity.
The character from Rogue One. Felicity Jones. It was supposed to be like, they meet, boom, you can start Rogue One.
Cool. Because, I
don't know if it played out that way, but that was like what they were saying.
I haven't seen Rogue One since I saw it in theaters. And I know, and I loved it in theaters, for the record. Yeah. But watching this, and like Sam's been kind of half watching on the couch, and like I never actually made her watch Rogue One because I basically just had her watch everything up until the Disney acquisition. And she was interested in 7, 8, 9. She's like, "Do you want to watch those?" I was like, "No, I'm good." but maybe we do it in release order. Maybe I put on Rogue One and say, "Do you want to go back?" I don't know. We'll see. But she's been just sitting on the couch playing, Switch, just watching me lose my shit while I'm just yelling out loud while I'm watching Andor. It's so good.
It's incredible.
Remember,
they're saying $300 million for season 2.
I mean, remember we were talking just a few months ago? I was like, how could anything beat Severance? And then you have, because now that it'll be like best drama will be Severance, White Lotus, Last of Us, probably Andor. Like it'll be a very, very stacked category.
Because Andor competed against a lot of stuff the first season, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to look up what it lost to and what has been dominating. But like, this is outstanding TV. Like this belongs at the forefront of like drama nominations. Like, there's no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my god, and the Imperial stuff. I didn't think I'd have any interest in this. The guy who got a little bit too big for his britches, and it all fell on him. And then this character with the blonde but the really tight bun and the all white.
Deidre?
Yes, Deidre, yeah. Ramiro, yeah. Deidre Miro, whatever it is. She's such an interesting character, and she's kind of slowly rising up the ranks right now. She just got a hold of another sector, and yeah.
Have you met, there's the guy, he's from Game of Thrones, or he was in Game of Thrones. I believe he was one of the headmeisters in the Red Keep towards the end.
Towards the end. Not the main one that
but
dies.
Essentially, like, no. But
yes, yeah. I
him.
knew I recognized him.
Yeah, his relationship with Deidre, like, as her like immediate or like kind of mentor and all that, and they were kind of coming back to that in season 2.
Oh, cool.
And just like like the same thing, like the Empire stuff is dialed up, the Rebel stuff is dialed up. Like, it just kind of feels like it's coming to a head. In so many ways.
This is the stuff you see in the prison is just it's so good because, like you said, like, you have to see the brutality of the Empire and how its oppression is actually working, rather than listen
being
to
told.
Obi-Wan tell you the Empire. You know what I mean? And like, don't get me wrong, that shit works so well for me, like the movies.
Yeah.
But it is very, very different to see it. And like,
and you know, like, it's I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're really enjoying it. I would never in a million years try and pitch like all the animated stuff like Clone Wars and Rebels and whatnot, but the closest thing they have is the tightness and the realism of the world of Star Wars. Not like, you know, like just like the people and like how, like I said, the oppression takes place and how, you know, they push people off planets and they use and abuse, like, you know, they coax in, like, first thing they always go after it, like they spoil a senator and then they inch their way into the planet and then there's like half planet takeover and then it's a full planet takeover. They rip it of resources and they do that over and over and over again. And it just continues to be fresh storytelling in the animated shows, and it's just so cool to see a live action version of it with a story that I think the general masses are a little more familiar with. They have a little more association to Episode 4 and you know, like the originals. To see that come to life in live action. It's such a treat. Like, as a Star Wars fan, we're spoiled, like truly spoiled.
I think that gap between 3 and 4. Most generations of Star Wars fans are aware of, and like, or at least they have the space in their head, so it's easy to fill, right? Yeah. And then Rogue One, the movie, did so well that it's like, okay, there's probably a lot more we can do here, because there's like pockets everywhere, but it's like, you know, you have to know more and more depending on what pocket you want to tell a story inside of. Anyway, I'm gonna try and watch an episode tonight. It's fucking awesome.
For sure, watching some tonight.
All right, over to you. I've been hogging the mic here.
I only really got one more thing, but it has taken up the most of my time over the past couple weeks there. I decided to jump back into Orb on the movements of the Earth. This is probably shot up in going to be one of my all-time favorite anime.
I have heard. Did it end recently by chance? Like, did they have the finale?
It's over.
Okay, so
I'm not sure if there's going to be.
I'm seeing it.
I'm not sure there's going to be a second season or not. I don't know. It is based on a manga, so there is, you know, potentially a second season coming. I have about 6 episodes left, so I'm not finished. But it's one of those shows that once I restart it with a fresh mind and kind of like when I first started watching all that shit, my eyes were fucked up. And I was like watching, like squinted out, like, you know. Anyways, I couldn't enjoy it, so I restarted, and I have been like a fine wine, 1 or 2 episodes tops at a time. I'm just like really taking it in. Dave, this show is the ultimate blend of Vinland Saga and To Your Eternity. There's interesting. And To Your Eternity, the comparison is only how the usage of time and information works. There's no fantastical world. It's a grounded, real world story. It's set in 14th century Poland. Like the church is like the height of their power. They control everything, right? Like they control what is science, like what is fact, what is not fact.
Is it historically accurate? Because like this is like a lot of this happened, right?
So yeah, like it.
I mean, maybe
it,
not.
Like it.
What's in the anime?
It's not like out of a textbook of like these characters of like these are real people. Like they're some of them are probably based on some people, some historical figures, but it's just kind of like a fictional version of events that did take place, back then.
Yeah, because I think I remember as a kid learning about like we were starting to understand basic astrology and all that stuff, and then that's when the church started having a rough time with it, and it got pretty messy.
Yeah, so it's just, and honestly, the story starts off with just a young boy who has a fascination for the stars and astronomy, and he kind of like stumbles upon heliocentrism, where the church was like, no, like the Earth. Everything's like a tower, essentially. Like Earth is at the bottom, and everything kind of works around us. But we're at the center.
We're the center of the universe.
Yeah, and then heliocentrism is the opposite, where what is fact now, and like we all revolve around the sun.
Yeah,
and it's just an incredible tale of secrecy and knowledge and the pursuit of knowledge. And who should and should not have access to this, and again, and just like the way like it takes, it's not just like one set period of time, like the way it plays through time, and how all it takes is one little seed of knowledge to be placed and kind of hidden amongst people and carried through time to like benefit the future. Dave, it is like amazing TV. It's such a good story.
Is this a 2025 anime? Like, did it start this year?
No, it started fall 24, and it went through. I think it ended about a month and a half ago.
Okay, all right. I've seen more of it lately. Like when
there's 26 episodes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's long.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of sick.
It's incredible, Dave. It's incredible. Like
animation quality is nice.
It's very akin to the first season of To Your Eternity, where like there's like a good consistent base of like a 7.
Yeah.
And like if there is like Sakuga moments, like it goes to an 8.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not
doesn't
like
blow your head off.
No.
But it's nice.
This is all about what you're listening to and the word and like just and like incredible characters, like also like incredibly brutal, like like just the punishments that are laid out, and like it's funny too because like there's a couple characters and moments where like I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. What was Thorfinn's buddy in season 2?
Rainer?
Rainer. Very like him, him vibes. Like
I'm him.
Just like like I didn't know, like I didn't know these things, and now I know these things, and like just people kind of like, and just like the power of like the written word. Love like guys like there's this one character. They're younger. They're like, how do you know this stuff? And they're like, I can read. And they're like, why are you allowed to read? Like, who taught you that?
Yeah.
Like, that's restricted information. Yeah. Like, so like it really hits home like prejudice and like the pursuit of knowledge and and just there was an arc of a character where he was like very pivotal in like the old theories, and like he dedicated his whole life. And he has like this moment of like, oh, like shit, like maybe I was wrong, and he has to overcome that like truth is what matters, not what he was like furthering. And just it's like, I'm not even done yet, and like I've been told and I've read that the finale is like good stuff. So
it's on Netflix too, right?
It is, yeah. A lot of eyes have seen it. Like it's super like like it's this isn't always like a guarantee of success, but like the OP YouTube views are like through the roof.
Oh, really?
So the shows, a lot of people are getting eyes on it. A lot of people are seeking out the song and the video and the visuals. Yep. they're like, it's not like a, like a for sure correlation of success, but like it does show there is a lot of interest. Yeah. So like there's, I don't know, it's Dave, like it's.
Well, I've seen none of it, so I'll spin up a pilot or something.
It is great pilot.
You know what we think about? We say about pilots, dude. Pilots are hard.
Pilots are
hard. we're not doing the Trump voice on that. That's our saying, dude. He's not taking that.
No, I was trying to do Jerry, but if you took Trump from that, pilots are hard.
That's pretty good. I think I might get into I can't tell. Have you seen Curb?
Yeah. Oh yeah, lots of it. Not all of it, but a lot of the old stuff.
I don't know why Larry David is in. I don't want to say the news. I don't know why he's like doing interviews and podcasts recently-ish, but he has been. And also my algorithm is just steering me to a lot of Larry David content. And as you know, like a lot of the comics I love Larry David, right? So I just have seen too much Larry David content lately, and every time I see him and hear these stories about him, I'm like, fuck, I should watch Curb. Like,
you haven't? No, like you've watched like an episode here or there.
Oh yeah, but not a lot, and I might give that a spin at one point.
If you're, I'm gonna look up the exact episode, but there's one I think. Yeah, that's the thing too. You can just jump into any season, any circumstance, and just like it's
Sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, I think the early ones are in SD or something. Or
Oh, yeah.
And I hate that. So I was like, can I jump when it's HD? Does that matter? I don't really feel like it's the type of video.
At the end of the day, like, it's funny because earlier seasons, like, as, like, raucous and kind of, like, so, off cheek that, as he is, like, he is an envelope pusher for sure. Always has been. You can feel, like, more of a how do I word this, like traditional comedic writing and kind of like beats and motions as it goes on. Like I'm blanking on his name. When they started adding more, like the people like that are on the show are doing more of the writing for themselves.
Oh, okay. Because that's like a big thing, right? Like later on, they're improving a lot.
Yes. So like that's
like a situation.
It just, that's where he becomes like the most unhinged and like just like the most like it also like when he becomes a caricature and he's just saying whatever he wants. I think that's when the show's been at its best. Like seasons like I think like 6 to like towards the end. I know like the last 2 people didn't love. Like there's great episodes, but as a whole the seasons were okay-ish. But yeah, I think like 4 or 5. It's kind of like a Simpsons thing. Like you get like 3 or 4 in, and then they really hit their stride and kind of found what works and what doesn't. But
I mean,
it's gonna come back like 3 times. So like,
you know what our current comedy, if you can call it that, dramedy show is, like our before bed show right now. And I think you've seen it. Shrinking.
Yes. Oh, that's a good show.
Fuck, Harrison Ford, man.
Oh, the best.
Guy can't.
He can do it all.
He sincerely can. It's probably old news to you, but I saw that the Rewatchables did a Star Wars: A New Hope. Episode.
I just finished that today, actually.
Yeah, I was listening to it on my lunch, and they're just talking about Harrison Ford. Like, man, this guy can do everything. And I was watching him last night on Shrinking, and I was just like, man, he really get like this. Yeah. I rewatched Blade Runner 2049 recently.
Oh wow, nice.
God, I love Harrison Ford. But yeah, all right. The only other thing I have is I have downloaded and put an entire 3 hours, so not much, into the Oblivion Remastered
Oh, nice. How are you liking it? Did you play it originally?
Never.
Back in the day? Oh, okay.
So I played it as... I touched it as a kid when it came out, 20 years ago. And I remember really not enjoying the combat. Like, it felt very clunky. Sure. And it was just, but I've also never even played Skyrim. Like, I don't know what it is. I've just never really liked how these games felt. They didn't feel tight. I don't know what it is.
I was more of a Fallout guy. I did play Oblivion. I did play Skyrim, but
but it's on Game Pass for $1, and it was like, yeah, okay, why not? And people don't shut up about this game, right? It has all this cultural relevance that it has somehow hung on to. So it's like, you know what? I'll give it a go. So I rolled a character. I just got to the first city, and I'm going to figure it out. Nice. Over time. It might be like a long-term play, but we'll see.
It's a big game. There's a lot of shit to do.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, it's one of those, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours if you want it. Like, it's all there waiting for you. But, yeah.
Last bits of news I got. To Your Eternity manga is going to end in 2 chapters, so they got an end. And Solo Leveling, rumor. Season 3 may be multiple years away. Yeah,
did you see the weird comments from the producer a couple weeks ago?
What did he say?
They were just like, hey, they did like a fan rousel of like, guys, like, we need your support, like we need you to show your fervor so we can like make this happen. And everyone's like, why the fuck are you asking for our support in like the biggest show out right now?
Yeah, the biggest show on the planet.
Yeah, it was very sign, and, and it's like not the studio, it was like the production company. So like the fucking money people were saying that. Very weird. It was very weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I think someone from Crunchyroll made a comment of like, biggest show on the platform. Like, it was very like weird. I bet you this is like some contract stuff. People trying to like muscle each other out on something, but I don't know.
But like, get going. It
really
takes
weird.
a while to make, so I don't even think they've started production yet. So
I have a hunch that seasons 1 and 2 were done back to back, and they just spaced it out to like tidy up too.
Yeah.
That's I think they've just been sitting on it since.
We'll see.
That to me makes the most sense, but.
You mentioned Mission Impossible right before we hit record, and it's funny just because I saved this quote from a Time article, because Sam and I have started watching them now. Granted, because I've never seen any, so we've watched 2.
Oh,
and 3 is next. I will not finish in time to see it with you, but maybe, who knows. But I've been watching all the promo, and I'm like, fuck, Tom Cruise, man. And
2's the worst, by the way. 2 is the worst.
The cheese is unbelievable in 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
The cheese is unbelievable. But I am watching them because I just think that we've gotten better at this since starting the podcast, right? And I'm watching them and I'm like, yeah, it's unbelievably cheesy. Mm-hmm. But I have like I understand what I'm watching. I know the year it was made in, and you know what I mean? And then I know that how much culture made fun of these movies later on. Like, so I'm okay with it. I'm just enjoying the ride, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not getting mad, but this is a short quote. In the Mission Impossible franchise alone, Cruise has climbed the shining glass sides of the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building, hung from the side of an A400 military transport plane as it took off, ridden an actual motorcycle off the edge of an actual Norwegian cliff. He has a commercial pilot license. He is one of the 36 people in history to be named an honorary U.S. naval aviator. He can parachute and base jump and free dive. But one issue with this particular idea for Fallout was that Cruise at the time was not a trained helicopter pilot. So Cruise and McQuarrie made inquiries, and they were told at 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, it would take 3 months to get Cruise up to speed and able to pilot. Cruise asked, what about the other 16 hours in a day? A month and a half later, he was ready to fly.
Unreal stuff. That's the best one.
Power of Scientology, dude.
Yeah.
Just coursing through his veins.
Is by far the best one.
Yeah.
By a huge margin. It's so good. And that helicopter stuff specifically, dope.
What number is that?
In. 6.
Okay. And what is coming out?
1, 2, 3. Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
Rogue Nation. Fallout. Dead Reckoning. Final Reckoning.
Okay, to be fair, pretty sick titles in all those.
Yeah, I know.
Those actually are pretty sick.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick. And
I remember there's a set piece in Rogue Nation that I saw that one. Devin and I saw that with our dad, and like all 3 of us came out like that movie was like pretty good, but like there was one set piece that it's like not even like his most like him doing something crazy.
Yeah.
It's like an indoor scene.
Cool.
And I was like, well, like the guy's got it. He's had the juice forever at this point, but like
he's got the
juice. Good stuff. Yeah.
I guess Jeremy Renner's doing promo right now for his book.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
they wouldn't give me the keys to the franchise.
Yeah, I guess he was saying, like, yeah, those movies were just killer to work on, and there's also rumors about him doing more Hawkeye. But did you see they tried to lowball him on pay?
Yeah. Anyway. See Robert Downey with the supporting photo.
Oh yes.
Yeah, taking a photo with the book.
The muscle shirt on.
Pay the man.
Pay the man. kind of funny. All right, bud. I think we're good. Look at that, dude.
Yeah.
An hour on the dot, just about.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. All right.
Yep.
I haven't said this once. Please follow the podcast. Support the podcast on Instagram, TikTok. Follow it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, etc. Wherever you get your podcasts at Part-Time Otaku Podcast. That is it. We'll be back in another couple weeks. We'll see if Grant's still here after we take him out to his bachelor party. If not, it'll be solo podcast. And we'll see you then. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Grant, go ahead. Say the words.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.